What's going on, guys? Welcome to How to Reprogram Your Mind to Think Like a Millionaire. Let me quickly throw on my watch here so I can sell you guys my 997 course. I'm just joking. If you don't know who I am, guys, my name is Smith Reese. I'm a 17-year-old entrepreneur from Los Angeles. I've ran multi-six-figure e-commerce stores, a multi-six-figure agency, and I'm currently running a multi-six-figure info product business or coaching service-based, whatever you want to call it. Now, I dropped out of high school, and I'm going to teach you guys today. This is not going to be a usual whiteboard video. This is going to be a sit down, let me talk to the camera, some real ass shit, right? Let me take out my headphone. Now, the one thing that's stopping you from achieving your wildest dreams is biases. I want you guys to understand that you can literally do anything in life. Like, you don't have a preconceived path. You can do anything you want. You can make your own life. You can create your own reality, if that makes sense. So biases, a cognitive bias, for example, is, let's say, familiarity bias. Most people, they are going to choose something they're more familiar with. That is a familiarity bias. Novelty bias. Novelty bias is if something is new, people often think it's better. But in reality, new isn't better, better is better. Hence why people choose business models, any new business models, new cars, new this, new that, new phones, Apple, right? Novelty bias, selective perception bias. People often choose to keep going with a perception that gives them emotional comfort without taking in new inputs or perspectives. Ergo, I'm saying like social media, right? You see a pro-Republican video, you're going to be fed that pro-Republican agenda. So you don't have business problems, you have personal problems that reflect in your business. And that's why I say a lot of the time that making money is 80% mindset. Because at the end of the day, conquering your mind is the highest leverage thing you can possibly do when it comes to scaling whatever business you're running. You don't think you can scale a business? That's a limiting belief. You can scale, you can do anything. What makes me doing all this stuff at 16 and 17 years old different from you? Realistically, nothing. I have the same two hands. I have the same two eyeballs. We all bleed red at the end of the day. And I want you to understand that. So selective perception bias, when it comes to scaling your business, is your main issue. Now, selective perception bias is when you ignore other opinions, thoughts, or inputs and focus on entirely what comforts you or confirms your beliefs, because you know taking in other inputs into account will cause emotional distress and cause you to change your beliefs. So if I'm running X business and let's say I'm 3 weeks into it and I've chosen X business for just because somebody's talking about it. Now, I run an info product business, and I'm very, very transparent about absolutely everything. I try to be unbelievably authentic, and people ask me what's the best business model to start. And I'll say, well, you're going to get the best of both worlds, right? I say you can start an agency, which is essentially offering services for money, or you can start an e-commerce business. And I tell everybody, yeah, I would highly suggest, if you don't have the startup capital, try starting e-commerce due to the fact that it is low barrier to entry. You don't need much to start. There's a lot of great free information on YouTube, right? And I tell every single person I give that advice to, hey brother, take into account that it's biased because that worked for me. And also I somewhat teach e-commerce, right? There's the bias going on. So I'm super open and I'm very adamant on having everybody critically think when it comes to taking in advice, right? I've spent tens of thousands of dollars on programs, my self-education, my health, mentors, courses, everything, right? So most people struggle with selective perception bias, which is why they fail to make money. So for example, if you've been watching Iman Gadzhi, and this is where his audience gets that bias from, if you've been watching Iman Gadzhi, you can see him go from broke to rich with the agency business. And I'm not going to say agency doesn't work. I'm just trying to get you guys to understand the selective perception bias. You saw him go from broke to rich with the agency business model. Now, most people will see that And they're going to think, especially since he's pushing his course, if they bought his course, they're going to think that agency is the only way to make money. If you spend $2,000 on an agency course and somebody comes and says, hey, agency is probably not the best move for you, it's not the greatest, have you tried e-commerce or maybe this or that? You're going to say no because you have the bias that not only did you see him go from broke to rich with an agency, but you spent $2,000 on the product. So due to the fact that you've spent $2,000 on X product, you're going to choose to look at it in that way. You're going to say, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know this. You don't know that. So it's very, very, very important to take into account other perspectives when it comes to the whole business side of things, right? Take, for example, social media algorithms. They play into selective perception bias every single day. If you see a video aimed towards, and this isn't a political thing, I don't side with anybody. I don't really care about the whole situation. I hate everybody equally, okay? Let's say you see a pro-Palestine video and you like it, you comment, you share it, and you follow the account. TikTok, for example, is going to be more inclined, they're going to be incentivized to show you more pro-Palestine videos because it keeps you on their platform, right? They don't really care. They don't give a solitary fuck who you support, okay? They don't care if you're pro-Israel or pro-Palestine. They just want to keep you on their fucking platform, right? So they're going to be more incentivized to show you those kinds of videos. If you look up, for example, if you were to look up a YouTube video saying drop shipping is dead, you are spoon feeding yourself that drop shipping is dead. You're choosing to look at this facet of business, of online business, in that perspective. Does that make sense? You are choosing your perception because you've looked up the search term drop shipping is dead. But if you were to look up if you were to look up, for example, on the opposite side, if you were to look up how I make 10K a day with drop shipping, you're going to think that drop shipping works because you've spoon fed yourself that perspective, right? So if you are going to do research on anything, and this goes with business especially, look up drop shipping is dead, and then open a new tab and look up how I make 10K a day with drop shipping. Now you're going to get the best of both worlds, different perspectives, because chances are if somebody says drop shipping is dead, it just didn't work for them. If somebody says it worked, then it probably fucking worked for them, right? I'm going to tell you guys a little story about a guy I knew before I dropped out of high school. He was a senior. He wasn't at my school. He was an online Discord friend. We met through some Discord e-commerce channels, servers. And he made, at the end of his senior year, he made $40,000 with drop shipping, profit after tax. And Adam was 18 at the time. He was a senior. And do you know what he did with all of that money? With the $40,000 that he made, he spent it all and he went to college. Now, this wasn't to become a doctor or a lawyer, or neurosurgeon, or anything along the lines of that. This was strictly because he had the preconceived notion that he needed college. Why? Because he had the biases and the belief systems, the fundamentals coming from his parents. So I want you guys to break this down. If you guys look at your grandparents, your great-grandparents, for example, your great-grandparents, and I'm going to use this in first world country terms. Your great-grandparents, they got a job, they bought a house, they, raised kids, and they were all able to do that on one income. Congratulations, amazing life. Their kids, your grandparents, your grandparents, they went to college, they got a job, they had kids, amazing. Now move on to your parents, right? Now, some people's parents, it worked out amazing for them. They went to college, they went to school, they got a job, they got a house, they had kids, and that worked amazing. But a lot of them, I would say it's fairly split, maybe 70-30, 60-40 here, more leaning on the it didn't work out for them side. A lot of parents, especially Gen X right now, they're not in a very good position, right? I can name a lot of my friends' parents who personally are in debt, who are struggling, and that's rough to see because they had the belief systems passed down from them. Now, I want you to take into account, you're watching this video, I don't know what age you are, but I want you to look at millennials. Now, millennials followed the whole go to school, go to college, get a job, buy a house. They can't even buy a house. So what worked for your grandparents is not going to work for you because it is a different world. I'm going to tell you, this is about to blow your mind. The average income of a college graduate was higher in 1980 than it is in 2024. Is that not insane? And that equates for inflation as well. So I want you guys to understand, look at millennials. They can't afford rent. They're suicide. They're pretty much like themselves on record numbers. So I want you guys to look at millennials as an example of what not, or the average millennial of what not to fall into. Now, belief systems. Belief systems are your fundamentals as a human being, as an individual, and they result from every input that you've ever had in your entire life, right? I look outside, the sky is blue. I've seen it with, I look outside. You think the sky is blue. I think the sky is blue. I've seen the sky is blue. Therefore, the sky is blue, right? Now, this plays into business. I look at the sky and it obviously, my belief system, obviously belief systems are formed through your personal experiences, right? I look at the sky, personal experience, the sky is blue, right? That's just a fact. That is a fact, okay? Now, if somebody were to come to me and say the sky is green, I'm going to say, what are you on about, pal? Are you on meth? What are you on about, bud? Sky is clearly blue. It's been blue for my entire life, right? But this guy, maybe where he grew up, he just could have seen the sky as green. Like that might have been his reality. So this guy's just saying what he knows as a fact because he grew up in that position. His personal experiences are that the sky is green. So when it comes to, for example, making money, chances are, if you grew up in a wealthy household, you're going to be wealthy. If you grew up in a poor household, there's a very high likelihood that you're going to remain financially scarce. So if you're able to adopt an abundance mindset in every facet of life, you're going to be able to reap everything. You're going to be able to position yourself, right? So for example, if I can go and talk to, let's say, an old high school friend of mine, or somebody who was in my high school before I dropped out, and I could come up to them and be like, yeah, I made $30,000 this week. They're going to be like, impossible. No, you didn't. You're clearly a scammer. You're crypto pumping up. You probably do NFTs. You're such a loser. Can't be like, duh, right? And that's due to the fact that they have the fundamental belief system that is impossible. Most things, making $30,000 in a week for most people is impossible. They just believe that fundamentally. So when I come across and I can tell them that, they're going to be like, nuh-uh. Isn't that insane? So it's like they need to adopt the beliefs that anything is possible. He who has a why can bear any how. If you want something bad enough, you can achieve it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is. You can achieve it. Okay? So your fundamental belief systems, I guarantee you're watching this video, you probably think that money is hard to make, or it is a scarce resource in your life. Money, there's so much money, and I know people say this, but there's so much money out there, and there's trillions of dollars in circulation every single day. So realistically, is it that hard for you to, go out and just take a couple thousand, maybe even couple hundred a day? Not necessarily. So that's why when I say making money is 80% to 90% mindset, it's because most people have the fundamental belief system that making money is hard, right? Now, this plays into absolutely every facet of your life. If I believe, for example, if I watch and I see, I'm feeding myself the selective perception bias, I'm feeding myself the idea that, okay, I'm on social media and I see these rappers. If every single rapper has a diamond chain, grills, and a Lamborghini, and they have attractive women, and that's all I see, I'm going to think I need a diamond chain, diamond grills, and a Lamborghini to attract women, right? So I'm going to go about my entire life until I get those, the diamond chain and the Lamborghini, not attracting women whatsoever. And not only will I not attract women, but I will not attract the right women, right? So I really want you guys, and this is one of the quotes, my favorite quotes, right? It's by Machiavelli. And he says, I look at the way the world is, not how the world should be. I look at the way the world is, not how the world should be. And this comes down to most people's belief systems. This comes down to people looking at, they're choosing the perspective that they, or the lens that they view the world through. Bill Gates doesn't view the same way the world you do. Jeff Bezos, and even guys in our space, Charlie Morgan, Iman, they don't view the same, they don't view money in the same way that you do. So this comes down to evolving who you are as an individual. This comes down to adopting a new identity. This comes down to creating an evolved avatar of yourself. This is self-transcendence. So, when people say, this is obviously an overused term, but when people say, in order to become a millionaire, you need to become a millionaire. If you are not a $10,000 per month person, or if you're not a $100,000 per month person, you're not going to be making $100,000 per month or $10,000 a month. Does that make sense? So whatever benchmark you're at now, I want you to sit down and I want you to, here's X goal, X amount a month. We're just going to say X amount a month because I want to make this tangible for the viewer. X amount a month. You want to be making X amount a month. So in order to hit X amount a month, create the character, the evolved avatar of yourself that's making X amount a month. So here is, let's say, Smith, for example. My name is Smith. Let's say, here's $1 million a month Smith. Now, $1 million a month Smith wakes up at 7:30 a.m. Now, $1 million a month Smith goes straight to his desk after taking a cold shower. He dries off. He goes straight to his desk after a cold shower, and his beautiful girlfriend brings him a cup of coffee. Now, Smith waits 90 minutes to drink that cup of coffee because he knows the whole, because you guys, you see what I'm saying? I'm not going to go in depth to some biohacking stuff, but yeah, that's some stuff I'm passionate about, biohacking. But it's like, now, $1 million a month Smith does a deep focus work block of 4 hours. Now, $1 million a month Smith gets up from his desk and goes for a walk with his beautiful girlfriend. Now, $1 million, you see what I'm saying? So create your own character and go in depth on your daily routines and adopt everything. I want you guys to think, you want to be making X amount a month. That's your goal. Let's say for this year. Let's say for this year, or maybe the next 6 months. If you want to make X amount a month, is what you're doing today, yesterday, tomorrow, is what you're doing on your day-to-day getting you to X amount a month? You need to cater every single facet of your life, from the content you consume, the people you hang around with, the material, the inputs. Every input in your life needs to be catered to your goal. I cut off every single input in my entire life that wasn't getting myself to my goals or where I wanted to be for 7 months. 7 months. Now, the issue was that most of my friends weren't necessarily helping. So these were guys at the time I knew for 5-6 years. And I didn't talk to these guys for 6-7 months. And was that rough? Did I become socially anxious? Did I lose social skills? Yes. That's why I always preach the whole isolation monk mode thing. It doesn't work, right? Because, here's the thing. It all depends on your weighing your pros and cons. So at the time, I isolated and alienated myself from social activity, even though humans are psychologically fundamentally social creatures, and in order to remain mentally sane, we need that social interaction. But at the time, I isolated myself. And that's due to the fact is that I wanted it bad enough. The one deciding factor if you're successful or not comes down to how bad you want it. Understand that. If I put a gun to your head, and I use this analogy a lot, if I put a gun to your head, you're going to hit 10K a month in 2 months. You know you can, right? If it was life or death, you would. So you know you have the capability deep down. Why haven't you done it yet? Why haven't you done it yet? This needs to be life or fucking death for you. When I was making good money with e-commerce, the first thing I did was drop out of high school. I put my back against the wall in order to pull it off. And don't get me wrong, there was a lot of turmoil. There was very, very high highs and very, very low lows. But now I can confidently say that it worked out. I pulled it off. I can go look at my old self and my old notes and the journals and the this and the videos and say, you know what, Smith, from 2 years ago, we fucking did it. I'm not saying drop out of high school, but if you've been working on your online business for X amount of months, you're not successful because you don't want it bad enough. The reason I've succeeded quicker than you have is because the simple factor is that I've wanted it bad enough. Now, it all comes down, right? And it all comes down to what you want to optimize your life for. And I was talking about this. I held a meetup in Los Angeles a couple days ago. And I was talking about this. I said, if you want to optimize your life for money, you can do that. You can skip the gym. You can stop hanging out with people. You can just spend every waking hour in your room at your desk on your computer optimizing your life for money. Now, you'll be a millionaire, but you'll be fat and lonely and sad. I'm optimizing my life for money, socialization, if that's even a word, socializing, and fulfillment. If I wanted to optimize my life for women, I would go and I would talk to women and go to the clubs and this and that. If I wanted to optimize my life to be the best basketball player that ever lived, I would go play basketball every waking hour that I possibly could. If you want to succeed, you need to optimize your life for success. Does that make sense? If you wanted to succeed, you would cut out an hour or two of sleep. If you wanted to succeed, you would stop playing video games. If you wanted to succeed, you would stop scrolling on Instagram. If you wanted to succeed, you would take action. If you wanted to succeed, you would optimize your life for success. If you wanted it bad enough, you would be wherever you wanted to be. Most people expect to do what everyone else does and not expect to get what everyone else has got. I'm going to say that again because that's a little complicated. Most people expect to do what everyone else does and not expect to get what everyone else has got. I've said this before, in order to be exceptional, in order to be an exceptional individual, you need to be an exception. You want these goals. You have these goals. Are these goals of somebody who is normal? Are these normal people goals? God, no. So why are you trying to be a normal person? Why are you trying to be normal? Because the average person in America and the UK and most first world countries in Europe is overweight. They have less than $2,000 or euros and they're, what the hell is that? What? Okay. Wait, let's try it again. Sorry. Jeez. They have less than 2,000 euros in their checking account, pounds, whatever. Now, they're not achieving their goals. So I'm telling you right now, if you want to be average, then you can go be average. Be my guest. But you're watching this video for a reason. Now, you want to achieve these goals. And like I said, if you want to be successful, you need to optimize your life for success. Become that X amount a month person. Become that person. Like I'm telling you guys right now, say this with me out loud, audibly right now. Do you think you're capable right now of making X amount a month, your goal that we talked about earlier? Say it audibly. Yes or no? 3, 2, 1. Are you making that goal? Are you making X amount a month right now? Say it audibly. 3, 2, 1. If the answer, okay, now you're not making that. Do you think you're capable of making that? 3, 2, 1. If you said no and you're not making X amount a month, but you think you're capable, You are wrong. You are wrong, because if you were capable of making your X amount a month goal, then you would be. My goal at the end of this year is to make $100,000 per month profit. That's my goal. And the single factor, right? The reason why I'm not making it now is because I am not a $100,000 per month person. Do I understand that? Fundamentally, yes. Am I going to fix that? Yes. Every single dime, every single dollar, there's going to be change in who you are. If you make $1 extra next month, that's $1 change. I've quadrupled my income this year in the first 3 months. That was a quadruple. I'm a completely different person I am now than I was in November of last year, in January of last year. I've evolved. Now I am a 50, working my way up to 60K a month kid. Person, 17, doesn't matter. Now, fundamentally, I've optimized my life for success. Look, I have certain... Okay. I just got invited to Paris. I'm telling you guys, this stuff is available. Look, if you guys have the right friends, if this will load, if this will focus, you can probably read what's going on. But, yo, Smith, would you want to go to Paris with me? Just you and I. If you can have the right people, you can optimize your life for success. So look at my room, everybody. What does that look like? This looks pretty empty, and this looks pretty mundane and sad, doesn't it? I have my goals there. I have nothing at all. I used to have a desk there in my older videos. Now I'm 17. I still live with my mother at the moment now, and I'm going to move out as soon as I turn 18, right? Now I have issues with, hey mom, can I get an Airbnb here? She doesn't want to do this, right? She doesn't want to put her info into anything that's not Amazon. So I used to have a desk there, completely empty. Used to have stuff on my shelves, completely empty. Those are books and those are earplugs. Now all of my books have been moved there, and my bed is simple, and here's my whole setup on my desk. I have the toothpick that was in my mouth prior. I have a lightweight mouse. I could just use an Apple mouse, but they kind of suck. So I have a very lightweight mouse. I have my phone, my wallet, my blue light blockers, my headphones, and my water bottle, and a single monitor. And now you guys are going to go into the Matrix. But yeah, that is my entire room. And I'm telling you guys, I practice what I preach. I've optimized my life for success. And I'm so proud of myself because I've been able to form my entire reality. I'm going to give you guys want the best book to fixing your life? The greatest book ever written in history. Boom, the Bible. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, it is true, the Bible. The best book ever written, the most influential piece of literature in history, and forever will be. Guys, read the Bible. But this book right here, sorry. Here's some mouth tape, guys, that I use for when I sleep because I can optimize my life for success. But reality transurfing, this book has changed my life. Now, I think it's like $60, $70 on Amazon, but this has enabled me to change my entire fundamentals as a human being when it comes to my perception of my reality. That book has taught me, and this is what I'm telling you guys in this video, you guys can quite literally do and have anything. Now, you can have anything, but you can't have everything, if that makes sense. But I've been able to literally point at something and get it. I've been able to call out my success to the fucking week. I have a note. Hopefully I'll remember to throw this up, but I have a note on my phone from 2 years ago. And I had basically I called out, I'm going to be able to spend X amount on dinner, and I'm going to do it in this week of this month of this year. and I called that shit out to the fucking week, to the 100 of number. So I spent $700 on dinner the other day. It was a really nice restaurant in Los Angeles. And I was able to call that out. I said, I'm going to spend around $700 on dinner in June. I think it was like June, maybe mid-June of 2024. I did that 2-3 weeks ago. I called it out. I'm telling you guys, this stuff is possible. There's going to be a video, I'll link it in the description. It's my entire story of when I started my entrepreneurship journey to where I am now, or when I am recording the video. And I want you guys to understand that it is possible. And the reason I say it is possible is because I was you, and I am no different to you. I just figured it out. We all bleed red, okay? If I cut my arm open right now, it's going to be red. And if I did that to you, it's going to be red. We are no different. We are human. I just figured it out, and I wanted it bad enough. Okay, does that make sense? So the one thing, right, is I'm telling you, it is possible for a reason. Because I was this depressed kid. I was the kid watching Iman Gadzhi. I was the kid watching Jordan Welch. I was the kid sitting alone, depressed, trying to dropship, trying to start my agency, shaking after my cold calls, getting cursed at on cold calls, and getting called a fucking idiot on sales calls. I was the kid who was getting, spending $50 a day and just losing it all. I was the kid who went around and passed flyers for dog walking and car washing and this and that to everybody in my neighborhood and didn't get a single fucking call back. But I didn't give up because I wanted it bad enough. And I'm telling you guys, you can too. It is possible. This video was the most valuable video you've ever watched. And I think I want to say I appreciate you for giving me your time. Okay? I want to say I appreciate you for giving me your time. So if you guys would like to work one-on-one with me, I hate to do the CTAs. If you guys don't like me, and here's the clarification. I'm about to sell you something. So if you don't want to see this, then you can feel free to click off the video right now. But I have a free Discord in the description. I have a private community in the description, right? You can join that. If you want to work one-on-one with me, mentorship, one-on-one coaching, consulting, I've taken a guy from homeless to $10,000 a month in 16 days. I've taken a guy from $10K a month to roughly $28,000 a month. I'm just going to round it up for 30 because it sounds better, in 3 weeks. I've taken a guy from 0 to $10K a month in literally a month, 30 days, roughly 30 days. I'm telling you guys, and there's going to be more case studies down below. If you want to work one-on-one, book a call. We can chat. But thank you so much for giving me your time, and thank you for letting me sell you my shit. And I hope you have an absolute blessed day, and I hope you were able to find value from this video. Take care.